Hello everyone, we are back after what feels like a endless cycle of just uploading videos or planning videos and having them delayed. We are finally back. Coronavirus has messed up everything, especially in terms of videos, because obviously we're now currently in the midst of a second UK lockdown, and basically I've had to move all my stuff from Manchester back to home, back to Manchester. It's been crazy. I just didn't really have enough time to really catch a good amount of spare time to really upload any videos. Obviously it's just been crazy with that, and also uni at the same time and work. So yeah, but we are finally back. We are going to finally finish off this Christopher Nolan review series, which I've been plugging away at for ages. I think we've only got 4 movies left to review. Probably wrong on that one, but we're just going to stick with 4. It's probably 3, but I don't care. We're here today reviewing Inception, which is a film that I was quite interested to go and rewatch beforehand, because it was a film that, although I really enjoyed, I didn't love as much as everybody else. Everyone seemed to be mad for this movie. I was one of the few that thought it was a very good movie, but not quite the masterpiece that everyone thought it was. So I was really intrigued going into this rewatch, seeing if anything would change. And I have to be perfectly honest, I might actually love this movie. This generally now might have been the first time where Inception just clicked with me, and it truly became that film that everyone has been banging on about, that 10 out of 10 masterpiece, which I'd never agreed with beforehand until now. Story of Inception, of course, is about a group of thieves that are tasked by a wealthy entrepreneur with planting an idea within a rival company's heir's mind, and in return our main hero Cobb will be able to reunite with his children and wash away his troubled past. That's as much as I'm going to say about this film without giving it away plot-wise, because I know quite a few people who have not seen Inception. Let's just get into the positives with this one. This is a truly unique film. It's one of the things that I've always given appreciation to in this film, even before I went on this rewatch, was that I always appreciated how unique this film was. There truly isn't another film like this. This film that just plays with the idea of dreams and kind of a heist movie, but set within dreams, then going into a dream within a dream, and then how time revolves around that. It's just so cool and interesting, because of course time is one of Nolan's key traits that he uses in all of his films, and I think this is one of the movies that plays with that the best. I'd probably say this, Interstellar, and The Prestige are probably 3 of my favourite movies of his that play around with the theme. You could also throw Memento into the mix as well, but I really enjoy how it's used throughout this movie, not just as a way to create tension with how time is passing by in the dream world, but also passing by in the real world, but just what he's able to do conceptually about, these people who do this for a living, and then it gets to the point where they use this technology so much that they're unable to dream without using this technology that allows them to do these espionage missions. It's so cool and so interesting, and it just sets up this world that's such an intriguing one, and one that you instantly want to learn more about, and especially with the themes that this film poses with a lot of its characters, mainly through the character of Cobb, which is a perfect segue into the film's characters. Cobb is brilliant. I love Cobb in this film. One of the best characters that Nolan has ever written in any of his films. He's so great in this movie, and Leonardo DiCaprio, terrific actor for the role. And what I love about him so much is that it only really clicked with me in this rewatch that this truly is his movie. The other times I've watched this film, I was always watching it from the aspect of this is a group film. In a way it is, but this is really Cobb's film, and so obviously he gets the most attention, and he's brilliant in this movie. DiCaprio kills it. I love the way that he acts behind his eyes with this man who's trying to cover up all of this grief that he has surrounding his family, his kids, his wife. It's brilliant how that's portrayed. Easily the best character of the movie. I'll have my negatives about some of the other characters, which I will discuss later on in the negatives, but in terms of Cobb, I can't really say anything negative. He's brilliant in this film. The rest of the cast are terrific. There's not a single bad performance in this film. Everyone is great. Everyone is fantastic. All the characters are memorable, and that is mainly down to the brilliant quirks that each actor gives to their characters. There's a lot of really good standout scenes. Some of their development over the film, yeah, it's not amazing, but cast-wise, I can't criticise this movie at all. I also can't criticise the visual effects either. Some of the effects they've got here still scratch my mind as to how they were able to do it and how they were able to pull it off so convincingly, because you're in these worlds where things can be binded around and deformed and created into something else. It's absolutely brilliant. It's mesmerising to watch on screen, and even the way that it's shot as well. There's so many brilliant and iconic shots in this film, and the visual effects on top of that as well. It just makes such a gorgeous movie to look at. The action in this is also brilliant. I'd argue this is easily some of Nolan's best action that he's ever had in any of his films. It's always been one of the critiques with Nolan's that his films don't really have that interesting or watchable and action scenes. They've always very quick cut, fast paced, a derogatory version of Greengrass's fighting style in his films, but I think with this movie he nailed it. The action is fantastic. There's a lot of great scenes. I mean, you've got the opening heist scene where they invade Sato's mine. You've got the guards tracking him down when they are able to steal his secrets. You've got the chase scene in Mombasa. You've got the shootout scene when they enter Fisher's dream for the first time. You've the assault on the Snow Palace, which is very reminiscent of On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Very nice little reference there. But the action throughout this film is fantastic. It's shot well, it's really good, really believable, and really tense as well. And the score for this one as well, fantastic. I know I've banged on about Hans Zimmer's score so many times in these reviews, but his score in this film is genuinely fantastic. I mean, I can't really say much more about it because I'm pretty sure every man and his dog has heard about the Inception score, whether it's the massive dong sounds that have been memed to death, or the track that closes off the movie Time, which is one of my favourite pieces of music from any film ever. It's absolutely terrific. It's a brilliant score, works really well with the film, really works well on its own. The only real small negative I have for Inception is, and it's something that I really didn't affect me anywhere near as much on this rewatch because of how I went into the film looking at it from a critical standpoint, but I still want to mention it because it definitely affects some characters. I think that Cobb is very well developed throughout the movie. I think Fisher is very well developed throughout the film, given that he's the emotional crux of the film other than Cobb, in terms of the team have to try and change his mindset from point A to point B. So obviously he goes on an arc throughout the film. I could also argue that Ariadne does as well, but the rest of the other characters, while they're really enjoyable to watch on screen and acted very well, they don't really go on an arc throughout this film, and they're not exactly written with anywhere near as much depth or nuance as Cobb is, or Ariadne, or Fisher, or even Moll to a certain extent, because at least you get a lot of insight to her backstory with Cobb. The rest of the team don't really get that, but again, it's not as much of an issue for me, and I wouldn't really class it as a major issue because of the fact that I went into this movie looking at it from this perspective of that this is Cobb's story and not a group heist film. And I think because of that, I was able to overlook this issue simply because everything else is just so brilliant about the film that by the end of it, I wasn't really bothered by that issue. And also because I did enjoy the performances. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he was amazing as Arthur. Tom Hardy's amazing as Eames. There was just so many great performances that ultimately I wasn't too bothered by this issue. So overall, Inception, it's brilliant, a brilliant movie. And like I say, beforehand I was a bit harsher on this one compared to the general reception this movie gets, but on this rewatch, it really did click with me, and I have to say, I'm actually going to increase my score from what I originally gave Inception in my original ranking video, because if I remember correctly, I gave it a 9 out of 10. In this review, I'm going to give it a 10. I think it is deserving of that. Like I say, there is that minor con with some underdeveloped characters, but to be honest with you, in the grand scheme of things, it didn't really affect me all that much on this rewatch. So it's finally done it. It's finally managed to get to that 10 out of 10. And again, I never thought I'd be saying that coming out of the rewatch, but it really did impress me a lot. It's a brilliant movie and probably one of my favourite heist movies of all time. So thank you very much for watching this video. I know it's been a long time since my last video, but hopefully we will be rattling through these Christopher Nolan review films. Like I say, I've only got to review this, then The Dark Knight Rises, and then Interstellar, and then that should be the entire series done. I won't be re-reviewing Dunkirk, mainly because I already have a review for that on the channel, and also because I just don't think my opinions will change on that film. Again, they may do, but I just don't really feel inclined to review that movie again when I already did a review of it when it came out in 2017. So yeah, just 3 more to do. Hopefully we'll get through them quicker rather than later. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, guys. Make sure you go leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I hope to see you all again next time.